don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Happy Friday Eve. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. Super excited to be here. Happy New Year to everybody. Haven't been back since December 15th, but we're going to talk a lot about Loganville receivers. We're going to break down their tail of the tape, Ahmed, Souare, and also Austin Taylor. And then in the second segment, we're going to bring on the head coach from Langston Hughes basketball. They have a big-time region matchup tonight, actually, against Alexander for basically the number one seed in that region going into postseason time and going into tournament time. So going to break down that matchup, talk to him about some of his players. Brendan Schaefer, one of the most slept-on guards, I think, in the Peach State. So ask him a little bit about his team. 3 scores, averaging over double figures this year. So we're going to learn a little bit about them. And then in the third segment, we're going to talk about top 10 headlines for the weekend, including Danielle Carnegie's quadruple double the other night. It's just incredible for the program at Grayson, the reason why they're one of the nationally ranked programs. So we'll get into that as well. But yeah, awesome. So recruiting news as well will end the first segment before we bring on head coach. But without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about Ahmed Souare. Man, I just really love his game. Real quick before we roll the tape, just excellent footwork, really good releases off the ball, uncanny ability to kind of create separation, can snag a 50-50 ball. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, there's a reason why he was selected to the Score Atlanta Top 75 honorable mention list. And I think next year him and Brody Hanna was going to have a big year. And I think, you know, that tandem, that duo is very, very special with head coach Jen Cartwright and obviously one of the main coaches, Trent Robinson. So without further ado, let's roll this tape. All right, so right here you're going to see singled up, one-on-one coverage right here. Does a good job getting a nice release, not bumped. Look at him go over the middle of the field right here. Good, strong catch. Look what he does after the catch. Breaks the tackle, gets it all the way right here, stretches out for a touchdown. I mean, incredible play right there. Just being able to take that short play and make it big. This is probably one of my favorite ones. This should be just a short, you know, quick route right here. Look what he does with the ball. Okay, 1, 2, 3. He's still going. It's 4. He's still on his feet. That's 5 guys he broke. And look what he turns the play into. That's supposed to be a simple 8-9 yard out hitch route. He turns that all the way into the red zone. What a phenomenal play. Right here is one-on-one coverage. Boom. And then I'm going to have Craig actually roll this one back too because it's a part of this play specifically that I really like. So when you look at it, it's one-on-one coverage. You see 2 high safeties, and then you see him pressed up. The corner is. So a lot of times you see kind of wide receivers will kind of, you know, go away from this. They don't really like the physicality. But watch the corner right here. I'm going to have you roll it, Craig. Look at him bump him, be very physical at the line of scrimmage with him. So right here, boom. Look how physical he is. Look at him fight it off, right? Still physical, past, 10 yards, catches the ball, breaks the tackle, breaks the safety tackle, and turn it into a touchdown. What an incredible play by Ahmed. Just being able to break that tackle and still physical. See it here in the instant replay again. Boom, right there. Very physical. Line of scrimmage past 10 yards. Doesn't matter. Look at him get his hands to the football. Break the tackle right there from the corner. Safety comes up. Doesn't matter. Breaks his tackle as well. Just an incredible play from Ahmed there. Really, really mesmerized me just what he's able to do on the football field. All right, right here you're going to see corners playing off, potentially cover 3. Look at this ball. Look at him adjust to the football. Slowed it down. Look at that. Double coverage. Great job locating the football, finding where it is, adjusting to it, catching it for a touchdown. Incredible play right there from him. Same thing, off coverage from the corner. Look at him get Good job using just the outside leverage of the corner to get inside and catch the touchdown. What a phenomenal play right there as well. This one has got to be my favorite. Look at the move he puts on the CB right there. Oh, my goodness. And I slowed it down on the next clip coming up. But just look at this line of scrimmage. We'll have you pause it, Craig. So you see he's playing press coverage against him. Look at him use the leverage that the corner has against him. Makes a nice move like he's going inside for a slant or a dig and go outside. Just incredible footwork. See it right here. Boom. Look at that move inside. Baits the defender, and look at him go outside. What incredible footwork. Corner's lost on that play. Hannah lays it up to him, basically, and he slam dunks it with the touchdown right here. I mean, it's an incredible play. Fooling the defender with the outside leverage. Here you're going to see him on the goal line. Good job. I mean, you know, double coverage right there. Doesn't matter. Throw it up to him. He's going to go get it. Here, just a simple out route. Good job stubbing his feet right there. And then look what he does after the catch again. Good job turning it into a 20-yard gain. Should only be about 8 to 10 yards. And same thing. Big red zone threat. Look at the move again. Torches the defender. Other safety comes over. Doesn't matter. So you see it right here. Boom. Just the quick suddenness of his movement, his footwork, completely just freezes the defender. You see the same thing right here. And look at this catch. I mean, phenomenal. Gets both feet down. Not an easy feat to do. And the boom right here. The suddenness right there. Get his hands. Double coverage. Doesn't matter. And then right here, you're going to get a little bit of a press coverage right here. Look at him beat his defender off the line. Easy dig route inside. He has too much speed. Burns him. Burns him like toast. Easy touchdown right there. And there he is right there, right in the seam. And catch the football, turn into another big play. Good yak yardage right there in the red zone. And it's good adjustments to the football. That's one thing about this game that stands out, just how he adjusts to the ball. Boom, here's right there. What a good move right there. It's the stutter and go. Fools the defender. And boom. You know when he gets it, it's going to be a big play. Turns that right into the red zone. Phenomenal right there. And then here, underrated part of his game, look at the blocking. Look at him seal right here. Completely negate the defender out of the play, throw him out of bounds. Absolutely incredible. We asked it a lot, correct? Just like what receivers block. Good blocking right there. Just getting him, completely negating him out of the play. Here's the next one. One-on-one coverage. Boom. Just good release. Beats the defender to the spot. No chance. Just incredible footwork. Boom. Here he is here. Boom. Look at what he did to the defender. Just put his foot in the ground. Completely turns him around. And turns it into a big play. I mean, just incredible route running, man. Same thing right here. He's singled up on the outside in the red zone. Completely gets him in the inside. Nice move. Easy money right there. Okay, here, again, you can see he likes the physicality. Here's the press. Doesn't matter. Look at him turn his head. Look at the adjustment to the football. I mean, when you have a weapon like that, man, that's next level. That's top key. So, again, some of my standouts, excellent footwork. Releases are phenomenal. You see how he's kind of getting off the ball, baiting the defender, using their leverage against him. Not really telegraphing. I didn't mention this in the film, but he's not telegraphing what he's going to do, right? He's waiting to see how the defender's lining up, how the defender's going to play him, and then he makes his move. Uncanny ability to create separation. Can snag a 50-50 ball, in my opinion, with ease, with no problem at all. Does a really good job of coming back and adjusting to the football. A lot of times you see receivers, even if the ball is not the best, they won't even come back to the ball, or they'll kind of struggle to locate it. He has no problem with that. I think a big play receiver, really good with yak yardage as well. And a good and willing blocker. And I think he's one of those guys next year you're going to have to keep an eye on for Loganville. They made it to playoffs last year. Lost to Mays, unfortunately, but I think he's probably one of the most slept-on targets, slept-on receivers going into 2024 at the wide receiver spot. So that's my thoughts. Also, some accolades for him. He was the 5A Region 8 Offensive Player of the Year. So that goes to tell you right there. And he was named to our Score Atlanta Top 75 Honorable Mention list. This is a kid you want to know. Go check out his film. All that is linked below. On YouTube as well. But we got one more guy we're going to look at before we bring on the head coach from Langston Hughes, Austin Taylor. He's a cornerback. I really think, man, he could play a little bit of a hybrid. I think he could play a little bit of safety and corner. I mean, he's just strong. He's physical. How he comes downhill, how he attacks opposing runners. I mean, it's just something to behold, something to see. So we're going to roll that tape. I think he'll really be kind of kind of awed at what he can do with his size. I mean, he's only 5'10", about 175, 180, but just look how he comes downhill. Size does not matter. So right here, you're going to see him in coverage right here. So it's a double move. Look how well he plays the ball. Look at the PBU right there. Great job adjusting to the ball. Same thing here. Looks like a zone coverage, but he's going to read the play. Look at him come up. Big hit right there. Jars the ball, lose good PBU. And here we're going to get a little bit of a motion. So nobody follows him, so you know it's zone coverage. Boom, look at him adjust to the football. Good PBU again. That could have been a touchdown. Phenomenal job right there. And then boom, look at this play right here. Look at him light up this wide receiver. Just a big hit. We got an instant replay. So again, you can tell zone coverage, but look at him kind of see it, read it. Quarterback gets it out quick. Look how he adjusts it. See him right there all the way to the end. Look at him come all the way from where he's at the corner in the zone to make this big hit. Boom. Sees it. Okay. Here I come. Boom. Big hit right there. I mean, that's a corner hitting like that. I mean, that tells you the story right there. And here, just good job coming down. Big hit right there. And then boom, here's the coverage in the red zone. So textbook. Look at him turn his head right when the ball comes. Good job right there, turning the head, getting the PBU in the end zone. Phenomenal job right there. All right, boom. Now here, look at him come downhill right here. Boom. Look at him lift him up and slam him down. What a big hit right there on the edge. Very phenomenal, very fun. Here he is again. Look at him read the play. He's the only one there. Pause it for me, Craig. So as you see, he's going to be able, this running back's going to get to the outside. So that's what I said. I think he's a good hybrid player right there. So at the running back, if he would have just bounced to the outside, he would have been one-on-one with Taylor here. But he's going to go back inside. The defense is going to force him back outside. But look at him at the corner come down. This is why I think he has some potential at safety as well. Boom. Escapes out. Look at this hit. Good form tackling on the sideline. You're going to see it again in here. He's playing his cover 3 to a T. Look at him read the play. I love this. Look at him shed the block right there. He's 1-on-1 with the receiver. Good, excellent form tackling. You're going to see it again. Boom. Look at him go. Not just a big hit, but getting him down to the ground. Excellent form tackling right there. And here he is again at the safety spot. Boom. There's the hit. Big time hit. You're going to see it again. So giving it to the running back. He has a lane, but look at him close that airspace, come down with the big hit, and limit the gain right here. Look at this. Boom. Big hit right there. Not allowing him to get any more yardage here. Here you see the athleticism, field goal block, being fast enough to get to the outside and be able to block the PAT. Excellent job right here. And then what I like too about his film, he also has special teams. So if you think, you know, oh, well, how can I use him on the next level? Kid plays special teams. He can block, make big hits. Here he is right here, just making a good seal, you know, blocking the guy out of bounds. Phenomenal play right there. Boom, here he is right here. All right, watch how fast he comes up. Boom, no quit on the play. Get past the block, make the big hit right there. I mean, that's textbook. Another one you're going to see on special teams. Boom, here he is. You see him right there, you circle. Look at him get through this cascade of blockers, shed it, potentially save a big play and a touchdown play. So, as you can see, that's why I'm high on Austin Taylor. I think he's a strong physical corner. I think he could play a little bit of hybrid, a little bit of safety as well. He can come downhill, make a big hit. And in those big hits, it's not just the big hits, right? His excellent form tackling. We've seen a lot of that, Craig, when we was doing the 7th grade game. We were so awed and impressed with what Teague Tatum was doing because it wasn't just a big hit. He was wrapping up. You see a lot of times in college and in NFL, guys will come up, lay the big hit, but they show strong in their legs, they can bounce off. I mean, he is doing excellent form tackling. Whoever taught him the right way of just ensuring that the defender goes down. I think he's excellent in coverage, does a good job of turning his head, playing the receiver very, very well, plays his coverage in his zone to a T, and I really don't think it matters where he plays. I think he can play a little bit of strong safety, and I think he can play a little bit of corner. So be interesting to see what Loganville does next year with Taylor because I think he could be a hybrid of both and can play both really, really well. So that's my thoughts on that. But it is close to 2:20, so we're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side with an exclusive interview with Langston Hughes head coach Rory Welch.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
Think so? Yeah.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. So right now we're going to be joined by the head coach of Langston Hughes, Rory Welch, and talk a little bit about his team this year and the big-time matchup they got going on tonight. Hey, Coach, what's going on?
All is well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you coming on, Coach. Definitely means a lot. Appreciate the follow, too, on Twitter. And I had to get you on. You're really a phenomenal call. I did a little bit of research on you, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But just how you feeling today? How much you've enjoyed just being at Langston Hughes?
Well, today, I feel great. We're pretty juiced up about the game tonight. Extremely excited. It's a region matchup for us, a region rival. We've been in the same league with Alexander, maybe 8 out of my 12 years here at Langston Hughes. So, big game for us, and, we're excited and ready to rock and roll.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, I want to ask you just what really impressed me. So I got to see your team play at the New Year's Classic at Grayson, right? So what really caught my eye, Coach, was just sometimes you'll see coaches, right? They'll be out there, and sometimes they'll let the players just play. But what really stood out, Coach, was that you were out there, you were teaching, you were communicating. You was telling the guys, okay, why this defense looks like this, why the offense is playing you this way. And it seems like you have a real good this ability to teach far as just your coaching. Just talk about where that comes from and just how you're able to get the most out of your players. I mean, that really took me aback. I've seen a lot of basketball in my life, but it just seems like you get it, Coach. It seems like you really can get the best out of your players, and you really teach them, the key things they're going to need in games.
I mean, well, the teaching piece, that's, the nuts and bolts of the coaching profession. You got to be able to teach the game. You got to be able to communicate the game, and you got to be able to do it effectively with the players. I guess I get that, somewhat instinctively, but I had a really good mentor that, brought me up in the ranks, and he was really hands-on and extremely good communicator and teacher, and that man was Coach Rick Francis. He was the head coach at Lovejoy High School. I spent 7 years at Lovejoy as an assistant and an associate head coach before I got the head coaching position here at Langston Hughes. So under his tutelage, kind of earned my stripes and developed my, coaching repertoire, and still using it to this day. So, yeah, we're very hands-on, and we do a lot of different stuff, just like any other program does, any other team does. And, even during the games, you still got to, get everybody on the same page. So, yeah, that's kind of how that flows.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, just talk a little bit about your background. I know you got your degree, and then you went and got your graduate degree at Liberty, and you talked about just Francis being kind of that mentor to you, but just talk about kind of coming up in the ranks. What was that opportunity you were able to get, Coach, early on, were you being an assistant, were you able to kind of get on and that person? I know obviously at Francis, but just early on when you were at, obviously at school getting your degree, that kind of just made that impact for you to get you where you are today.
Yeah. So, I was kind of fortunate in life, just having a very good idea of what I wanted to do long term. I knew I wanted to be involved in the game. I played high school basketball in Decatur, Georgia, Cathedral Academy under Greg Stevens, who's now deceased, my former head coach, who's a really good friend of mine. And I was a walk-on in college. I was invited walk-on at Liberty University, and I was a real walk-on. I didn't never play. I practiced. I was really a Division II or NAI level player who went on a Division I academic scholarship. And at that time, I knew that I wanted to be involved in the game. I knew I wanted to get into the coaching profession. I majored in health and PE in undergrad at Liberty. And at the time of me getting ready to graduate, which was around 2003, 2004, I almost stayed at Liberty and did a GA, graduate assistantship. I was really thinking about doing college coaching at that time. But I really wanted to come back home. I was homesick. I'm from Atlanta, and I wanted to come back and cut my teeth as a high school coach and start earning some money and, just jump into the profession. And, came back to Atlanta, and, I had my credentials, in health and PE and certified teacher, and got my first opportunity under a great head coach. And that was really what I was looking for at that time. When I was coming out of school, I only knew the game from a player's perspective. That's it. I knew a little bit, coaching here and there. I have, younger brothers, and I used to kind of coach them on the fly here and there. But I really wanted to get under a well-tenured vet who could teach me the ropes. And I got extremely lucky with finding, a guy in Rick Francis who took me under his wing and taught me how to be a coach. And so I jumped in on that. And as time went on, I went back and got my master's degree. And then last year, actually, I finished my specialist degree. So I got that out the way, and just still chopping wood and, figuring out, just how to get sharper, how to get better. But I was very lucky, man, just knowing at like around probably 13, 14, like, I want to have a job in basketball. I was, bright enough to understand that probably going to make it to the league. But, I was a basketball junkie, still am. And you watch games and you see the bench, and there's, they got the team, they got the head coach, and there's a bunch of other guys sitting there. You got assistants, you got ops people, you got all type of, front office individuals. So I knew there were job opportunities available if I could just, get my experience and learn the ropes. And I was just lucky enough to kind of see it through.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, one more thing about you. I just want to ask, you're a championship winning coach, right? You won back-to-back, I believe, 2017, 2018. So from your perspective, Coach, I know obviously it's some years removed now. What does it take to really be a state championship winning coach? Obviously, I know you got to have the talent. Everybody has to buy in. Everybody has to know their role. But in your eyes, just what does it take to kind of win a state championship? And how special was those runs, 2017, 2018, to be able to win back-to-back titles?
Well, yeah, you obviously got to have the talent. You got to have the players, especially in the state of Georgia. Georgia is one of the best basketball states in the country, bar none. Really, I think it's a landslide in terms of the talent we produce and the teams we put out year in, year out. This has been going on since I've been back in Atlanta. I came home in 2004, and it really got cooking in the early 2000s. But the talent here is high level. So in order to win, especially on the 6A, 7A level, you're not going to just need one dude. You're going to need a couple dudes. That's just how stacked teams are, and that's just the amount of talent in the area. Next thing is, you do got to have the coaching staff in place that can get the best out of the guys. And it's not just the head coach. You have to have a really good supporting cast with your assistants that are tuned in, that are, completely bought into the program culture and how the head coach wants things to rock. And, giving those assistant coaches some ownership over the program is extremely vital to success, in my opinion. I have a great staff here. We've been together through the championship run up until this point now. And I'd tell you one thing, we don't win those championships without my assistant coaches. This doesn't happen. I think I'm a pretty good coach or whatever, but the support system, the layers that are there to kind of facilitate making it through a 4-month season and then winning the final game of the season in your classification, it takes a lot, behind the scenes. It takes more than just the head coach and the support system in place as well. So, yeah, that's kind of what it takes to get there. How special those runs were, oh my goodness, I cherish them. Still very connected to a ton of guys who were on those state championship teams. Just talked to one of them yesterday. I've been here for 12 years now, so we have established a real basketball family. And, our guys come in all the time, and our guys that are playing collegiately, guys that have already gone to college and graduated and are grown men and have families, they still come to games and come in our locker room and spend time with us at practice. And, very, very much cherish those moments during those runs and looking forward to more. Looking forward to more for sure.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, let's talk about the team from this year, right? Got to see you guys play, as I mentioned early on. Just Brendan Schaefer, he really stood out to me. I know he's leading you this year, 18 points per game. He got 1.8, basically 2 steals a game. Just talk about him. We're going to talk about more players on the team, but talk about him specifically. What just stands out about his game? I mean, I think he's just kind of like one of those twitchy, quick kind of players. Can get downhill fast, can attack the basket. He also can spread the floor with his shooting ability. Can also get his teammates involved. Just does a lot of things. But what stands out about his game? What have you seen from him this year?
Man, Brent, man, he's just an old school throwback gym rat, has a great athletic, lineage in his family. His dad was a starting quarterback at the University of Tennessee. And so the kid came up, in competitive athletics, and he understands and knows what it is to be dedicated to a team. He knows what it means to produce when you're, thrown into the lineup and, you're one of the guys. He's one of them dudes, he wasn't the guy that came in and started for us as a freshman. He didn't start for us as a sophomore. He played ninth grade ball in the ninth grade. In 10th grade, he played JV and, practiced with varsity. And we started seeing glimpses, when he was practicing. We kind of call that like the red shirt year for guys that aren't quite ready for varsity, but they're on the cusp of it. They practice up, but they play down. And then we kind of get them some, squeeze them in. And if we have, a big lead in a game, and that's the only way they're going to play, and it's the bottom line. But we saw, okay, this kid has some tools. He's extremely quick. His first step is like 7 feet long. I mean, he really has a burst. He's irky-jerky with the handle, and he's expanded his game to the three-point line. He wasn't, a really good three-point shooter early in his high school career, but he put in the time, put in the work, and he's knocking down threes regularly. I think he's shooting at almost 40% this year from three. But we knew he was a scorer. He had the natural ability to put the ball in the hole. When he was on the JV team, he averaged like 21, 22 points playing JV ball. And, and practicing with the varsity, we saw, this kid has a knack for scoring. Last year as a junior, he was a part-time starter. We had 7 seniors last year on that team. So he worked his way into the starting lineup and earned the spot, and he produced. And it was kind of a rotating door between him and one of the seniors that graduated, Cabram Roberts, who had a really good, solid senior campaign for us. But we knew that going into this senior year, Brent was going to have a big-time breakout year. He puts in the time. He's a straight-up basketball junkie. He's never missed a day of anything. He's never missed a practice. He's never missed a walkthrough. He's never missed a film session. He might have been late once that I could actually remember for practice. And we practice in the morning. We practice from 6 a.m. to 7:35 like clockwork during the school week. I can only remember him being once late ever. And he's a great student, 3.9 GPA, 30 on the ACT. And, his best basketball is ahead of him for sure.
And last quick note on just Schaefer. It seemed like he checks a lot of boxes, Coach. Why do you think it's just, obviously I know he has about 5-6 offers, but why do you think it's kind of taking longer for, just coaches, college coaches, just to see what of a talent and what he can contribute to a program on the next level?
He's just blowing up his senior year. That's just the bottom line of it. If he would have had this type of season, his junior campaign, I think he'd already have this thing wrapped up in terms of, getting a Division I offer. But he's blowing up here his senior year, and, he just has to stick with it. But it's just the fact that he's just, I don't even want to say he's really a late bloomer, but the senior season has been, big time. And if he would have done that last year, he would have already, sewn it up. So he just has to be consistent and finish out this year strong. And I think, coaches will eventually take notice. He's starting to really generate a lot more buzz now as we get into the middle of the season here. The first few games, he came out hot, and I think, people were just kind of like, maybe it's a flash in the pan. He's just getting off to a good start. Let's see if he can keep doing it. And that's how he's wired. This is how he plays. And so we got more big games left to play, and he just has to be consistent.
Yes, sir. Well, another player I want to talk about, Coach, is Jerron Lamel. I know he's been another big force offensively for you and defensively. Just talk about his game, Coach. What have you been impressed from him in terms of just growth from last year to this year and what he's kind of meant to your team?
Yeah, Jerron is coming along. Last year as a sophomore, we didn't expect to get much out of Jerron. Going into the sophomore season, that summer going into the sophomore season, he just was in a little funk, couldn't make a shot, just out of rhythm, somewhat, out of, poor condition. And so going into that sophomore year, we weren't very optimistic in terms of where he was at. Was he ready as a sophomore to compete full-time varsity? But lo and behold, as we got into that season, he ended up taking the job from a senior and played very, very well as a sophomore, starting probably half the games his sophomore season. And then coming into this year, he's really started to blossom. He's expanded his game to the three-point line. He can actually knock down standstill threes and mid-range jumpers, but he has great touch around the rim, He has a money jump hook, over that left shoulder with his right hand. And he has really good feel for rebounding the ball, not only in his area, but out of his area. High IQ kid, knows his offense inside and out, knows his reads and his counters inside and out. And he's really starting to come into his own. Another guy with, in our program that has great basketball lineage. His dad played basketball at Auburn University for Cliff Ellis. And I think he's really, really, really coming along well for us. He's been very consistent, averaging, just under a double-double. And as the season goes on, I think he'll start to generate more buzz as well. But he's a big piece for us, and he anchors us on the back line defensively with block shots and defensive rebounds. But then he also scores it for us a little. We need him to be slightly more aggressive here, getting into the back end of the season offensively and, kind of carving out his niche. And so tonight's going to be a really good matchup for him. I'm excited for his matchup with Braden Liu, and I think he's going to bring his hard hat and be ready to put up some numbers.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, I want you to kind of expound too, just some guys that are underrated. A couple that stood out to me at that game. I like the Addison Dyer's ability to stretch the floor. Kendall Agnew, he came in, knocked down some big shots for you in that game against Wheeler. But just talk about some guys that are kind of flying under the radar for you, that's been having a big impact. Whether it doesn't have to necessarily be on the court, Coach. It could be in practice. Them, coming in, playing hard. Just who are some of those kind of under the radar guys that have been having a big impact on this Langston Hughes program?
Yeah, well, the first one was Cameron Catholic. He's a senior for us. He transferred in this year. His senior season from a small private school, so he hadn't played a lot of high-level basketball and 6A basketball. And, he's every bit of 6'5", and he can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot, standstill threes. He can, create a little bit off the bounce. He's athletic enough. He just kind of, had a little bit of a sick bug here. He has the flu. He's a starter for us at the 3 position. He's not going to play tonight. But he's been very steady. He's not an extremely aggressive offensive player, but he has a very diverse skill set at his length and his athleticism. We need more out of him going down the stretch as well. He's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to really start to, call his own number here and there and just be slightly more aggressive for us because we need his offense. But he's a guy flying under the radar that can definitely play college basketball. A couple other guys, Kendall Agnew and Addison Dyer. They're both sophomores, so they're puppies. Both of these guys played sub-varsity basketball last year, and now they've been thrown into the fire here as sophomores because they earned the right to do so, and they've been thriving and playing very, very well for us. Kendrell, is a big, strong 6'2" combo guard, could really shoot the three, can really guard people. He can guard 1-2s and 3s. He can guard some 4s. In the 6A level because he's so strong. He's every bit of 190 pounds. And then our starting point guard is Addison Dyer, and he's just a natural PG. He's another guy that's slightly ahead, of schedule in terms of him getting a lot of rotation minutes. I mean, he's a starting point guard for us right now, and he earned it. But I really didn't anticipate him being this far along this early. He had a solid summer coming into his sophomore year, and I just wanted to see more, especially on the defensive end, being able to contain his man and also, take care of the ball and get the ball out with, on time. And he's done that. He's been very steady for us, and he has a bright future ahead of him as well.
Yes, sir. And then, Coach, I know now we're kind of getting into kind of that meat of that region schedule. I know you'll have a region tournament as well that kind of determine playoff seeding as well in a little bit, I believe, in February, and then obviously, playoffs. But where do you feel your team is? I want to start two-sided question. I just want to start offensively and then go to defense. Where do you just feel your team is at? Some areas, without revealing too much, they can continue to improve on offensively and then defensively.
Yeah, well, the thing is where we're at right now, we're 10-3. We've lost a couple tight ones, and then we got whipped in one of them. One thing we tell our guys, we don't want to peak early. We don't want to be playing our best basketball in early January. We want to play our best basketball at the end of January, February, get into March, if we're able to make it that far. Basketball is a long season, and we're just trying to continuously fine-tune and sharpen our system every day. I think our defense was definitely ahead of our offense a little bit in terms of early on and, being able to, lock down, and we were holding teams just, in the low 50s, which is pretty good for us, in high 40s here and there. and our offense has looked sharp in spurts just because Schaefer he puts the ball in the hole, so he looks easy. But we need other guys to be able to contribute and be able to pick and choose their shots and be aggressive. But with influx of new guys, like I said, we lost 7 seniors, we lost 8 guys from last year's team. A lot of them had to learn the system, and that takes time. That's not done overnight. Your offense is always a work in progress, and you're able to build on it and add pieces here and there as you go through the season. So yeah, we're still fine tuning. Guys are still getting acclimated, and I think by the end of the season, as we get into February in the region tournament, hopefully we'll be hitting on all cylinders and putting the ball in the cup, because you got to score to win. You got to score to win. That's just the bottom line. So we kind of hang our hat on being not just a tough defensive group, but also a well-rounded offensive, team as well. We put just as much emphasis in each area, because this ain't football, man. We don't just play offense and then get off the field and the defense. I tell my guy, you got to be able to play both sides and be able to do it well. So, we're looking forward to our guys just developing, getting better individually, and then the team coming together and just gelling a little bit more as we get into the most important part of the season, which is postseason play.
Yes, sir. And then let's talk about the matchup tonight, Coach. You're going to play Alexander, who has been at the top of most people's polls throughout the year. You know how good they are, 14-2. They obviously have Braden Lou, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But just what stands out about this matchup, coming into this, I think it's a road region game. What does your team need to do to come out here with a win and continue to kind of just continue fine-tuning and get to where you want to be at the end of January, February, and into March?
Yeah. So it's a big one, Right now we're tied for first place in the league. Last year, basically the same situation. We both, went 13-1. We, split games. And, this matchup is awesome. I love it. I call it, a fair fight. Position for position, I feel like we matched up very well, even though we're shorthanded with Cam Catholic not being in the rotation tonight. But we're not going to make no excuses. Kendra Agnew is going to get the start at the 3 position, and we expect him to play well. That's just the bottom line. And we'll go a little deeper into our bench with Cornelius Coleman as well, playing some of that wing position. And we expect them to get the job done. But it starts off with the defense. We have to contain Lou. We can't allow him to get offensive rebounds and putbacks and tip dunks. And we can't allow him to beat us up the floor and get wide open layups and dunks. And, we got to keep him out of transition and match him step for step and be physical with him. I think Jerron Lamel and my backup center, Xavier Tiller, who's one of the top tight ends in the state in that sophomore class, is up to that task. So it's a great matchup for those 2 guys. And then in the backcourt position, with Pops, he's really come along. I didn't see that kid blossoming this quickly. They're in our region, so I'm very familiar with the team. But man, he's gotten better. He's grown a little bit. He's being extremely aggressive. He's really running the show for Slate. And I think the matchup with him and Addison Dyer, my point guard, is going to be vital in this game. We got to contain the young fella. We can't allow him to come off ball screens and just pick and choose what he wants to do. And so we're going to be aggressive defensively. That's kind of our philosophy. And we'll adjust on the fly throughout the rhythm of the game. But just very excited for this matchup. This is for big coins. You know what I'm saying? Because in our league this year, whichever team wins the regular season region championship, first place on the boys' side gets to host the region semifinals and finals. So last year it was whichever girls team, won the regular season region championship. This year it's on the boys. So, and I don't want it coming down to no coin toss, and I definitely don't want to, give it to Alexander hand over foot. So we definitely want to play well on the road. We feel like we've been somewhat of road warriors this year, and we'll bring our best and be ready to try to clip them off.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, this is the fun part of this segment. We're going to end off this way. It's only a couple more and let you get out of here, but I want to add a little bit of fun to it. I know you are
let's do
Panama.
it. Shoot.
Yes, sir. So I know you're from Panama, so I just want to ask you some fun stuff. I don't know what level you are. I know you speak un poquito, pero quiero hablarte.
Extremely, yeah. Yo entiendo mucho, pero hablo un poquito.
Okay, well, Cuando eres un niño, ¿hablabas en español o inglés o ambos?
Ambos. So, mi niños es Royston, Lucia, and Lexi. So I'm the father of 3. I got 3 little babies at the crib.
¿Y hablas en
I
español
think
con
I
ellos?
answered your question right. ¿Cómo?
¿Y
¿Cómo?
hablas en español con ellos o no?
No. So
No?
my wife is Panamanian as well, and my wife is the fluent Spanish speaker. But yeah, she don't want to speak Spanish at the house, man. So I'm trying to rectify that right now, man. I'm trying to work a deal out with my wife. Maybe I give her half my check if she'll start speaking Spanish around the babies.
You got to definitely do that, Coach. You don't want no Sabo kid.
Man, come on, man. That's how I grew up. Trust me, that's how I grew up. So I'm trying to fix it. Yeah. So I got some work to do, brother. I got some work to do.
For sure, Coach. Well, last one, Coach. Just when you have free time, or cuando tengas tiempo libre, ¿qué te gusta hacer? What do you like to do?
Yo, man. So I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in May, and I stopped hooping when I was 36. So I got this patella femoral arthritis, and since then, I've been riding bicycles, man. So I ride bicycles for fun, man. I live in the city. I live in East Atlanta, and me and my brother and a few of my buddies, I get in, man. I do about 200 miles a month on the bicycle.
Wow.
I ain't got no Walmart bike neither, man. I got a real bike. So yeah, I'm on the bike pedaling. I'm hanging out with my kids, taking them to the park. We go to the park every day. We go to the park every day, and just hang out with the buddies still. I'm an Atlanta guy, so all my friends are here. So, yeah, I still like to stay active. I love to ride. Even in the wintertime, I got a cold suit. I blast my hip-hop music, man, and I go get my miles in, man.
Nice. Well, Coach, thank you so much. I say this part in Spanish. Buena suerte con el partido de hoy, which means good luck in the game tonight, Coach. Really appreciate you just spend a little bit of time to learn more about your team and just coming on. Really appreciate you, Coach, and really like what you're doing at Langston Hughes, man. I think, you do a great job with the kids, and it's an honor to have you on, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate the invitation, man. Go Panthers.
Yes, sir. Go Panthers. So there goes head coach Rory Welch. Appreciate him coming on. Before we conclude this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about some recruiting news, but tonight's game, really quick about Langston Hughes. They're playing Alexander tonight at 7:30, so go check it out. Big region matchup, 14-2, 10-3, both are undefeated, and as he mentioned, a little bit more on the line. They could have a potential to host the game, the semifinals and the finals in the region championship or the region tournament if they're able to get that 1 seed. So that is very important news. Will be a fun game, a fun one. I'm sure probably Craig will talk about tomorrow after he talks to head coach Craig Bennett from Pickens now. But real quick, just want to conclude this part before we go to top 10 headlines and take a break. Some big news around the state. Okay, so North Atlanta, Salim Davis, as you guys all know, this week and next week, and I believe the week after, are major junior days for college programs. So a lot of kids are going to be going to junior days. North Atlanta, Salim Davis, who transferred over from Westlake, he will be in Morgantown for junior day for West Virginia. So that was some breaking news this morning. He will be attending there. He's a really good player, I think, for their program. He's going to be one of those staple corners they had like last year with Zayden Benson. So that's a name to kind of know and to follow, but he will be in Morgantown for the junior day. Caught up with Fellowship Christian wide receiver Evan Haynes last week. He will be on the flats. That's Georgia Tech for their junior day on January 20th, which is next Saturday. So the standout wide receiver, he was second in the team in receiving yards behind Josh Miller-Holland, who's going to Army. Receiving yards and touchdowns. Does a little bit of everything, man. Can also stretch the defense, returns kicks and punts. So he does a little bit of everything, and he's a four-sport athlete. It's kind of hard to say, a four-sport athlete. So does lacrosse, track, football, and basketball. And currently, I believe, if it wasn't last week, is this week, he's going on his mission trip to Jamaica to help give back. So really cool story. If you guys want to check that out, you can follow me on Twitter at Najeh to see that whole story. Really cool and awesome person, just doing the right things in this community. And then the other big news, got to give some love to Brett Greenberg for breaking this from 247 Sports. But he did reaffirm the commitment of Zaki Helton from Carrollton, reaffirmed his commitment to Alabama. Per the quote, says he remains 100% committed. He confirms that one day, I just want to tell my kids and wife I got recruited by a legend that you guys all know, in the big college world, the big bombshell news was yesterday. Head coach Nick Saban no longer the head coach of Alabama. He officially retires, the legendary head coach for the program, won so many national titles, just put that program even more on the map than what it already was. It's a legend, one of the best to ever do it. But Zakiya Helton remains locked in. Evans High School, Mason Short also remains locked in, but I believe he has a visit coming up to Georgia this weekend, so you guys can go check that out. A lot of kids from Georgia are going to be visiting Georgia this weekend. Go Dogs HQ, you can actually find out what kids there's going to be. So wanted to share that news as far as recruiting news and updates. And then basketball. Greg, me and you talked about it. I think this is super cool, but we talked about him from Kel. You remember C.J. Brown? He just got nominated for McDonald's All-American nominee. I think that's awesome. A kid that doesn't get the exposure that he necessarily deserves. A 3-star player, only rated on 247 Sports, USF signee, I believe, or commit. Man, when I got to see him play, though, Double Trouble Invitational, I mean, this kid can do it all. Like, he is great defensively, can create pressure on the ball, can create turnovers. It's electric in the open court. I mean, the poster, if you guys haven't seen it, go to Instagram and Twitter. Like, he posters I believe a 6'9", 6'10" Josh Hill, who's committed to Arkansas State. I mean, the play is incredible, man. And I think from where I got to see him last spring and summer to where he is now is off the charts, man. So I hope he does become a McDonald's All-American. It's such an honor for the top basketball players in the country to go play. And I hope that is a reality for him because he deserves it, man. He is just that good. And it's just nice to see him finally be able to get some national exposure, which he so desperately deserves, man. He is that good. And a real reason why, Craig, I haven't seen your 5A rankings, but okay, well, Craig confirmed Kel is number 1, and with good reason. I think they're going to repeat. That's how good I think he is with that backcourt and some of the returning pieces they got. Jalen Colin, him. They're going to be next level, man, and he's that good. So happy to see him getting some national exposure. All right, last tidbit before we go to break. The U.S. Juniors national team just announced their Nike men's roster for the 2024 Nike Hoop Summit. If you guys don't know what that is the major players in the country, 4 stars, 5 stars, people from Overtime Elite. They go and compete in this. Just the top players in the country. It's going to be Saturday, April 13th at Moda Center. Legendary head coach from the Pace Academy, Sharman White, will be one of the assistant coaches. He works a lot with the program. But a couple players that you should know on the roster. One is from McEachern, Ace Bailey. We know how good he is. He will be on the roster playing at the Nike Hoop Summit before he goes off to Rutgers. Other great players out of state, Dylan Harper, obviously Isaiah Evans of North Mecklenburg, Asa Newell, who's going to Georgia, Cooper Flagg, who's going to Duke, and then Trey Johnson. So all these guys are super, super good, super talented. Will be a lot of fun. I think they usually stream this game either through their app or on NBA TV. So you can go watch the next crop of players in the world or even just in the United States go at it. And what I really love about it is just the stay here in Georgia almost seems like every year or every other year we get a lottery pick coming through our state. That's how incredible it is. And we got it yet again with Ace Bailey. If you haven't seen what he's been doing on the basketball court or the hardwood, go check his Instagram or go just check Instagram in general. He went absolutely bonkers recently. I think it was City of Palms Classic, and he went bonkers in a tournament in New Jersey where he dropped 40 points and 21 rebounds and just put up highlight reel plays. Kid is the real deal, next level. Got to see him play last week as well in the New Year's Classic. So that is something to watch for. April 13th, we'll be kicking off. I believe we'll be through their app and through the NBA TV app as well. But we're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors, and conclude on the other side with top 10 headlines for the weekend.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
All right, guys, welcome back to conclude the show. Top 10 headlines for the weekend. Hope you guys are ready. This is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. At number 1, got to give some love to Danielle Carnegie of Grayson. She finished with a quadruple double, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Yes, you heard that right. That is not a typo. She had 21 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals. Just an electric, phenomenal player. And she is one of the sole reasons why Grayson is still undefeated. And the crazy thing to think about it, Grayson could potentially do what Kel did last year, win the state championship in basketball on the boys' side and on the girls' side. She's just that good, and she has come in and fit right in after transferring for this Grayson program and has been phenomenal all season long. So that is number 1. Number 2, a couple guys balling out from the Hoop Atlanta AAU team here in Georgia. Colton Wilbanks, he dropped 37 points and 18 boards a couple days ago. Cameron Steffen of Shiloh, dropped 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Carter Watkins, 17 points. Cole Husley had 21 and 8 boards. Kids have been balling out. Absolutely phenomenal. Good to see them doing it on the hardwood and having really, really good seasons for these phenomenal programs. So that's number 2. Number 3, another good name. I mentioned about C.J. Brown earlier. Another big name, kid that's going to UCF, plays for Pace Academy, a reason why their backcourt is so good along with Eric Chatfield. KJ, or Kyle Green, also was nominated as a McDonald's All-American nominee. Is having another great season for the program. Have not seen them yet, but I want to give you this update too, Craig. They played McDonough twice, January 19th, 8 days, and January 27th. I think the 19th one is at Pace, and then 27th is on a Saturday at McDonough. I'm telling you guys, I got to see this matchup last year, and it's so much fun. Really great players on both sides. McDonough just doesn't look like they've dropped the beat at all, despite graduating so many seniors. But the young guys are stepping up. Keenan Gray is stepping up. All these guys are having phenomenal years, man. So that is a matchup to watch out for. But back to Green really quick. 11 points per game, 5.8 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and 1.6 steals. So having another great season for the program. Shout out to Kyle Green. He is number 3 on this list. Number 4. This is on the girls' side. MLK Classic will be Saturday and Monday. Some of the best teams in the country in girls' hoops will be in attendance right here in Atlanta. 5 of the nation's top 25 teams will be there, including IMG, Montverde, Hebron Christian, Wesleyan, and Grayson. Real quick, just the matchups for that game. So for Saturday, got Campbell High School versus Butler. Campbell's here in Georgia. Whitefield versus North Cobb Christian. Militant Central versus Jasper High School from Alabama. You got Butler versus Westside, South Carolina. Langston Hughes versus Webb School from Tennessee. Grayson versus IMG. That right there, the nightcap. Get your popcorn ready. Those two going at it, IMG and Grayson. That would be a lot of fun. And then on MLK Day this Monday, Green Forest, Georgia versus Campbell High School. Newton versus Militant Central. IMG versus St. Francis. Wesleyan with Brianna Preston and how good of a season they've been having. They're going to play number 3 Montverde. Hebron's going to play against Stockbridge. Woodland High School is going to play against Parkview and Southwest Atlanta. And South Atlanta Christian versus Mount Pesca will be the nightcap. And the location for that will be Whitefield Drive, Southeast Mableton, Georgia, to see some great hoops on the girls' side on MLK weekend. So shout out to that. That would be a lot of fun. Number 5. Got to talk about 7A, man. I'm just excited to see this. I think last year I talked about how excited I was to see 6A with River Ridge, at the time Lovejoy, just so many great teams in 6A for the girls' side last year. I think this year the equivalent is 7A on the boys' side. There's so many contenders. I think it's going to be the most competitive. I think you will see some upsets. My contenders, I will have to go Grayson, McEachern. Really like John McQueen as their forward at McEachern, and Dozy Onyerimba. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Name is difficult to kind of pronounce, but he's a really good player for them. Starts, good role player, can rebound the basketball, defend at a high level, very electric. Other contenders, Wheeler, even though they don't have the same team, right? But they still got good players. Still got Josh Hill, still got Ricky McKenzie, who's committed to Kennesaw State. And you got a young player, young bull, I really, really like. Only a sophomore, Coda Suttle. Get to know this name. Already holds offers from Georgia and other major programs. I think the kid is special, can get to his spots, can finish it through contact, can shoot the ball very well, defends at a high level, good handle. Kid can do a little bit of everything. So Coda Settle's a name you want to know for Wheeler. I think he will be a strong reason if you send them potentially make a state championship playoff run. He will be one of the reasons, along with Josh Hill and obviously Ricky McKenzie. Kid can fill it up really, really good. And then Burkmar's my other contender. Mekhi Ragland, Austin Cook. Ragland is on a lot of lists now, kind of blown up in recruiting a little bit. Big forward, can finish around the rim, block shots, rebounds at a high level. He's been on 3 in their rankings a lot. Really electric kind of dynamic player in the interior. And then Austin Cook can stretch the defense, create his own shot, and create offense for others. So that's my contenders. My dark horse teams got to be Decula, that I think could probably maybe pull off an upset. Decula, Newton, Buford, Walton, and then Norcross. The reason I say Norcross, I know they're young, but got to see head coach Mack at the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic basketball that kicked off in December. And what I can say is he really knows how to adjust. He really knows how to put his best players on the court. He knows how to put what he needs into the game. And they nearly came back and beat a really good, strong 3A team in Douglas, Atlanta. So his adjustments and his expertise, state championship winning coach, all that is going to play a factor. Obviously, you got multiple state championship winning coaches, McEachern and Tremaine Akram. You're going to have Grayson head coach in there. It's a bunch of guys that have won highly on this level. But you cannot count out his expertise and what he's done. A couple players you want to watch, Toby Ajoku, who's a senior. He's kind of their, offense goes through him. Casey Williams, who's come over. He's been, really, really good this year. And then Jerron Salisbury defensively. Coach Mack talked about how he could be potentially one of the best defenders he's ever coached in his career. That is no slight. We know how many players they've put in the NBA and in the college level. So that is very, very high praise. Norcross is a big dark horse to watch. Also, Newton. I know they lost a lot of big pieces. Stephon Castle right now balling out, projected lottery pick. He really balled out when he was with Newton. But they got some young guys, man, that can really ball. And last year they ended up winning their JV tournament, and going undefeated. So those players now are stepping up, and they're juniors, and they're playing at a high level. So Newton's also a team that's well coached. New coach now, no longer have the coach they had last year, but still a team you cannot sleep on. And Decula has a really good front court and really good guard play. So all those teams got to watch out for. It will be a lot of fun. Really cannot wait. Number 6, Hustle Inc. 7-on-7, which kind of being, it's created a lot of buzz. A lot of players want to play for this team, want to play for Tony Ballard. He's a QB coach, but he's going to host his tryouts this Sunday, January 14th at Greater Atlanta Christian at noon. He puts a lot of kids on the map. He does really great work with what he does. And, it's just a really great team to play for him. It's good for exposure, I think, in my opinion. It's good to get reps in, especially with 7-on-7 season starting up here pretty soon. And he's just a really good coach and gets the most out of his quarterback. So he's hosting his basically tryouts at Greater Atlanta Christian this Sunday at noon. So players that want to try out definitely should go there. Will be a lot of fun. All right, number 7, my quick thoughts. I mentioned a little bit about it on Grayson New Year's Classic from last weekend. Really liked Wheeler. They look different. They don't look as dominant as they were last year, but they replaced so much, right? Ayrton Page, Isaiah Collier, really a lot of their group. But the guys stepping up, I mentioned Coda Subtle, just a guy you got to keep an eye on. Obviously, Ricky McKenzie, Josh Hill. I think they will have a little bit of something to say when it's said and done. They ended up being Langston Hughes, but both of them gave us a really good game. And then obviously I just talked to Langston Hughes head coach, and they got a really good program. They have been up to number 3 in our poll all year. So actually tonight is a top 5 matchup between Alexander and Langston Hughes, according to our Score Atlanta poll. So going to be an electric matchup. But that's another team that stood out to me. Finally got to see Ace Bailey in person. And, seeing him in person, man, he's just unguardable. I told a guy I was with, at the tournament, I don't think right now if he went to the NBA he would be a star. I think he would be a solid contributor. But I think right now, he could go play in the G League. That's how talented he is. Can create his own shot. Long. He had a couple shots. Craig, it was incredible. He got triple teamed and hit a turnaround fadeaway on a triple team. Just straight swish, all net. The kid is just next level. We know he's going to Rutgers next year with Dylan Harper. But, McEachern definitely got some good guys that can defend at a high level, do a lot of things well. And I really liked how Alexander matched up with them. Alexander is really the real deal. They've played a tough schedule, got some signature wins under their belt, but they go toe-to-toe with some of these top teams in the state. And they really impressed me as well. And then Grayson struggled a little bit early on against North Broward Prep, but their depth, Craig, is just next level. They got so many guys. the headliners would be, obviously Jakari Harris and Jacob Wilkins, who's the son of Dominique Wilkins, but just all the pieces they have. Amir Taylor on the glass, getting second chance opportunities and defending at a high level. You got CJ Highland, who's a quick, witty guard, pushes the tempo. I mean, whenever they get a steal, he got the ball in his hands and he's pushing the tempo. Or if it's a rebound, he's going 95 feet, 90-plus feet, and he's pushing the tempo, getting an easy look at the basket or creating an open jump shot. And then they got shooters that can space the floor, Anthony Austin, and people that can come off the bench like Ahmed Clark, that's not talked about enough, but can come in and give you big minutes. The other day was the leading scorer for them over Jakari Harris and C.J. Holland and obviously Jacob Wilkins. So I just think the depth that they have at Grayson is next level, and this reason why I have them as a strong contender in 7A. All right, number 8, I mentioned him to their head coach that was just on, Brendan Schaefer. I think he's one of the most slept-on guards in the Peach State. Has a really good drive, can move it at a frenetic pace, but is always in control. Good athleticism, can finish around the rim, can really shoot it at a high clip. As the coach mentioned, 40+% from deep. Can get to his spots, can create offense for others, and is a very good, witty guard on defense. Can create turnovers and deflections with how he's able to kind of get in the way of passes and really just cause havoc. So I think he's a true floor general. And just love now that he's starting to get the the praise that he needs. A lot of guys have been tweeting about him, and rightfully so. Kid can do a lot of things well. He's going to be one to watch going forward, especially in 6A, along with Alexander, Riverwood. You got to throw Langston Hughes in there, and the other teams. Really, really good. All right, number 9. Just talked about it with Craig. Big matchup in 4A. You want to see this in a few days. Pace Academy, as I just talked about, takes on McDonough January 19th, and they take them on in January 27th. So those are 2 games you want to see. Mark your calendars. Both are phenomenal teams. Both have, just great players. I think they're going to be all state selections. They can just do a little bit of everything well. So, if you can't attend, obviously the 19th will be Pace Academy in Atlanta or in McDonough. You can go watch them play that Saturday. Both, I think, are going to be great matchups and will be a lot of fun. All right, to conclude the show at number 10, Major camp season is here. Are you guys excited? U.S. Army Bowl is going to have their camp February 3rd in Atlanta. Already invites have been sent out for players here in the Peach State. That will be a lot of fun. The real one I got my eye on, yes, as you can see, I'm making the face. My eye on is the one February 17th, right? Under Armour camp will be here in Atlanta. Both are major camps. Man, it's going to be so many great players. I've seen a lot of players from out of state, from Alabama, that are going to be in attendance. A couple players from Moody, Pike Road. I see Aaron Gregory's going to be there. Bryce Perry Wright got an invite. When I say this is marquee talent in the country that's going to be here in the States or in the state of Georgia, this is one to behold, man. And love that a lot of these kids, some are underrated too that we don't really know about, going to be able to be put on a platform and create exposure and some buzz about them that can get them ranked and get offers coming in. That you guys know, this is offer season, especially for the next classes, the 25s, the rising juniors, the 26, or the rising seniors, excuse me, 25s, the rising seniors, the 26 rising juniors, the 27s rising freshmen, rising sophomores, excuse me, the 28s rising freshmen. So it will be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear the buzz that comes out of these camps. But that's all I got. Craig will be back with this show tomorrow. Drive for the GSA State title, formerly of Cambridge. He will be on the show to talk Craig and talk about just the move and, being at Pickens County and what he's kind of looking forward to there. So stay tuned for that tomorrow at noon. That's all I got. I will see you guys for me next Tuesday. Craig will be back tomorrow. Happy MLK weekend.